Hi everybody, it's Kiera. I also go by Johnny Pialu, and I'm back for All's Fair episode 5 review. I'll be honest, this episode I actually really enjoyed. Out of all of the episodes thus far, I really feel like this episode had the most to give as far as substance in delivery, and it was more so focused, well, just about completely all focused on Carrington Lane. So that's Sarah Paulson's character. And we get to go a little bit more into her character, really why she acts the way she acts, and a lot of her bravado, and it's really just that bravado is very surface level. When we get more into the episode, we really see where Carrington is really insecure at, and she really struggles with maintaining relationships, and she really struggles with like being emotionally present in her relationships. And so I would say, just looking at Carrington and her character, her the way she is so gifted with her words, with like cutting people, I think that's just indicative with who she is as a person. She's not that emotionally she's very intelligent, but she's not that emotionally invested. And I think it's because, just like she said, how she was raised. But just being a lawyer, already not being that emotionally sound, I feel like you know how to really snap in those moments as far as vocally, not vocally, but with your words. If I remember in the episode correctly, we start off with her daughter. She's in the car with her daughter. It's her daughter's birthday that's coming up. And so what we learn is that her daughter, I think, is around like middle school age. And even in those moments, this is the first time where we see Car really, almost really like not on her A game, in a sense that she's not confident and she can't hide behind those snarky remarks. We pick up that she's really insecure in her mothering, and not so much that she's not a good mother. I think she does want to be a good mother. She's just so, she doesn't know how to connect. She just does not know how to connect, and her daughter is going to be a lot like her. Her daughter is pretty much her, like, as a little girl, because even her daughter is like emotionally a recluse like her, because she only, like, they're talking about having her birthday party, and the only people that she can think about inviting are her nanny and her old ass piano teacher. Like, even she, like, we see her, she has cupcakes, and Carl wants her to offer cupcakes for people to come to her birthday party. She's like, so you want me to buy friends? So we already see where this like antisocial, but not even really antisocial. You haven't developed really any good social skills, and you kind of just hide behind your intellect and being able to like cast people out so you don't have to acknowledge that you don't have no social skills. That's what Car gives me. And she, okay, this is when I thought Car was messed up for this. Like, at first I was like, oh, she's just emotional. But when I went back and watched it, I was like, no, girl, that was reckless. She was late. She was late for her client, because she was, I guess, dropping her daughter off to school and everything. And her client was like, you late and you sweaty. So pretty much, bitch, I don't want to hear that. You late. So then she gets in the room, and they are having, what, I don't know, the dissertation, whatever you want to call it. Um, her party and her ex-husband, soon to be ex-husband. Car gets these notifications on her phone. You know, like when Facebook sends you your notifications, 10 years from this. And it's a picture of the little girl, her daughter, and her daughter's dad, biological dad. And she starts tearing up. then and then the lady who she working for gonna ask her, are you crying? And then Car gonna use this moment to flip out on her. She's like, yes, because I'm a fucking human being. And I have feelings. And I'm like, girl. And she storms out. Leaves the lady in there with, her ex-husband on the other side and his lawyer. Come to find out, the lawyer who was representing the husband knows Car just from, I guess, being in the industry. And she picks up on, she's like, oh, I can tell, you as a mama, it's something with your child that's making you act this way. And she like, call me when you need my help, when you gonna need me. And just that the way that the episode is going, you understand that we're gonna get to a situation where Car is going to need help. One thing that I will say about the trajectory of this episode, I feel as if coming off of the 4 episodes, it might feel a little bit more slower. But I feel as if it's slower because it's giving us more character development and more intention, the dialogue and the storyline does feel a little bit more intentional in this episode, even though it does kind of have a little bit like, But from what we've gotten so far with this show, I would say this is the best one, the best episode. And I just feel as if because we got to see more of the, no shade, but more of the actual actresses acting. Just have to call a spade a spade. You just gotta call a spade a spade. We find out that, well, this is how we know Car is kind of going through it. She is Chase's representation too in his divorce proceedings with Allura. Chase, Lord Jesus, he is Mr. Community Dick. He is Mr. Community Bean. He will get that thing up to anybody. She is over at Chase's house. Well, him and Allura's house. And it's about 2 weeks before, I guess, their final meetup and everything. And she's like, you better tell me everything that you need to know. I better not find nothing else out. And that's kind of alluded to, we as the audience know that, well, he technically got a baby on the way with Tiana Taylor's character, Milan, but he doesn't know that yet. So technically he can say he don't really have anything and not know it, but technically he still does have something that he didn't tell her about and that he knows about, which is his relationship with the trans girl, which we haven't followed back up with her since, I guess, the one time we met her. But either way, she's over at Chase's house drinking wine, feeling all inebriated, feeling frisky, feeling flirty. And you could tell she's feeling Chase, and she's smart enough to not fall for it. But you can tell she falls back on that, like her cynicism is her defense. Whenever she's feeling uncomfortable, whenever she's feeling unsure, she can always count on that to like get her a way out of the situation. Because she did it with Chase. She started picking on him by his hair, how oily it was. She was like, you need to wash it. She ends up washing it, and it becomes like this sexually charged romantic thing that kind of like get him turned on. But you can tell she want to get turned on too, but she like, no. like she want to keep holding it over, like, you know what, I ain't gonna go there. Chase getting all in her face, pretty much like, you know what, ain't nothing but space and opportunity. He's trying to let her know, you can get this dick if you want it. And you could tell like she kind of contemplating it, but she's like, no. Because I feel like, number one, she doesn't want to be, I feel like she's not attracted to men. So she could be like a closeted lesbian or something. Number two, I don't think she would go for somebody like Chase. And number three, the fact that he was attached to Allura would probably gross her out. So, mind you, she over here drinking. She end up going home, driving home drunk, get pulled over and get a ticket. This is when the lawyer that she was in that room with comes into play. I think the actress name is Lorraine Toussaint. Amazing actress. It's like that. Brooke Shields is playing the character of like the case that they're working on. She is a woman in like this 40 plus year relationship or 40 plus year marriage, and she wants out because her husband has Alzheimer's, but her daughter is like, you just gonna leave my daddy like this? But then she also wants the prenup to be rearranged because it's so restrictive. It's like they know how to get like a big name every episode. Let's just keep moving, because I already said this is one of the better episodes. We done already nailed it out that it's not good foundation. I don't see this for a second season, but we just gonna ride it out. And back to Carrington, because I feel like Carrington is the main character of this episode. So we find out after she goes and gets arrested, she calls old girl for help and she gets bailed out. Old girl wants Carrington to be her partner. Literally, she wants her to be her partner in her firm. And she's like, she loves Carrington's work, what she does. And this is the part where another instance where it's just not enough development in the show. Lorraine Toussaint's character, I can't remember her name, but she wants to partner up with Carrington to take down Allura because she says Allura keeps poaching her high-profile clients and undermining her in court. I feel as if for that storyline to be believable, we have to actually believe Allura, aka Kim Kardashian's character, as a bona fide, like for real lawyer. We have never seen her. We about to be on episode 6 when it comes back out. I'm assuming that we at least halfway through the first season. We have never seen anyone in a courtroom. We have never seen any of these lawyers in a courtroom. So it's kind of hard to believe that she is that bitch when it comes to doing these cases, that you losing cases like this, that now you want to take her down too. Like, it's like everybody want to come for Allura's character, but it's not making sense. Even at this point, her disdain for Allura, Liberty, and Emerald, I understand that she felt left behind at the old firm, but I feel like they must have had much more contention. So for like it to be a decade and you still this hard in your feelings. But we end up finding out that she kind of had like a little lavender marriage going on because Ami, her daughter, her father is a gay man who was once married to another man who I'm assuming had a drug problem, because that's what Carr kept bringing up, because she had pressed charges against the husband and everything. And it was made it contentious for her and her baby daddy pretty much, because it seemed to be that they were friends, like they had a very close relationship. And that's what the daughter referenced earlier in the episode, because essentially she wants her daddy at her birthday party. But I think she understands there's some contention. And he confronts Carr and he's like, you don't just get to treat people like shit and then come in and out their life and expect for it to be okay. And she's like, I know I'm not a good person. It's the way that I was raised and everything. But it's like, that still felt like a cop-out. Like, no, girl, sit in that uncomfortability. You be being a bitch. And so far, we understand that you are a bitch, but we can't really understand why you a bitch. Like, I feel like you mad, and we know that you mad, but we haven't really gotten enough to be like, damn, this makes sense for this hoe to be mad this whole time. But another thing that played back into the Brooke Shields storyline and how Dina's character plays into that, which is Glenn Close's character, she's going through the same thing with her husband deteriorating. And she, early on, I think it was episode 3 or 4, her husband was with his doctor and his prognosis was pretty much like, get your affairs in order. He didn't tell her that towards the end, and she's kind of, you can tell that she's defensive, like she's a bit biased when it comes to Brooke Shields' character, because she's like, well, if she didn't want to stay for better or for worse, she should have never got married. She should have never signed a prenup. And then even the theme of signing a prenup it shows up in Liberty's character, and her trying to navigate this new engagement with Reggie. But Dina's character we see at the end, she like has a crash out from when her husband is like, no, babe. He's in the bed and he's like, no, we don't need another second opinion. It's the end. Like, I need you to start preparing to be without me. And he's like, I've known it for some time now. I just didn't know. I didn't know pretty much how to tell you. How do you tell your spouse that you know that you're, dying and there's nothing that can be done? So we see her at the end of the episode where she's in the kitchen and she's putting on tea. You hear the teapot steaming, like the steam. I'm a little teapot, short and stout. You hear the and she's just crashing out, knocking out vases, breaking glass, and she's just screaming, having this breakdown because I think she had all these feelings about this woman, but also just coming to the realization that her husband, her lifelong partner thus far, is leaving her. There's nothing she can do about it. And he's leaving her in death. Like, death is a part of life. And I'm pretty sure she's dedicated so much of her life to her relationship with him. So it's kind of like starting her life all over. And back to Allura. I'm going to just really Allura and Milan. Now, this is what a storyline be messing up for me, because how many months have we moved along? Because Allura finally calls Chase and tells Chase that she's pregnant. And we see her standing up. And I'm like, this bitch already got a baby bump. So is she far along? Like, she's showing like she like 4-5 months. And so I'm wondering, if she's that far along, when are they going to update us about Kim Kardashian's role, Allura, getting her eggs fertilized and, get them inseminated and put in her? Like, what was the success of that? Because she did that not too long. Well, granted, her and Teyana Taylor might be off by a few months, but still, it's like, has it been that long? It's been months that we done jumped. It be shit like that. Like, I be wanting, but then they do something like that, and I'm like, see, this is why. But I will say I did enjoy episode 5. I watched it twice, and I will say thus far, this is the best episode and the one that had showed the most promise. It's unfortunately didn't start off this way, but I'm gonna keep watching it. Let's see what episode 6 is gonna bring. But I'm kind of, it was a good episode. I liked it. If you all are watching it, give me some feedback in the comments. Let me know if you do like the reviews, or if you saw something else that you wanted to that I didn't hit on. But yeah, talk to you guys later, and I'll see you next time.